guys, part of our visit here today was Pagani showing us around some of its cars, and what we have here is a Huayra BC coupe, where BC is typically a more extreme version of the current generation car. In this case, it has 562 kilowatts, so it's still V12 with twin turbochargers. These come with bespoke wheels. They come with the automatic transmission. They come with Trofeo R rubber. They can generate 1.8 G's of lateral grip, which is pretty crazy for a road car. This car has revised aeros. You can see it's got a fixed wing. It's got the canards on the front, which is pretty cool. And this is Pagani's own development car. It has 100,000 kilometers on it, which is crazy for, you know, any kind of supercar or hypercar. But it's pretty cool that, you know, the company tests to this level. It's a boutique manufacturer, but they still have, you know, they go through the full processes of testing their cars. And would you look at this? We have the key in our hands. The communications team here has been fantastic, and we're just gonna hop into the driver's seat for a moment and go through the routines. So you slide in here, that's pretty crazy, and pop the key into the ignition, put on the brake, you turn it over, you wait. You can hear hopefully some of the pumps priming. You can see all the dials running through their checks, and then you fire it up. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Look at that. Okay, I don't have my seatbelt on, and there's some warnings going off because the door is open, the seatbelt's open, but that is, whoa, that is pretty cool. The communications guys are close by. I'll just give it a blip for the heck of it. Oh, oh baby, that is awesome. That's a Huayra BC coupe in all its beauty and all its glory. This is Sebastian Beridi. He is part of the comms team at Pagani HQ, and he has graciously offered to show us around this car from behind the wheel and take us through a little bit of the test route that the guys use near the factory at Pagani. So we're heading out. Sebastian's taken us out on a little bit of motorway near the factory to show us, you know, how the car pulls in gear.
So we do have 4 driving modes that are actionable with this knob here. So we're starting in the wet condition modes, where we receive about 400 Newton meters of torque. So the car is absolutely usable in wet conditions. Then we can use in comfort mode, where of course the name itself says it, it's more for an enjoyable ride. As you can see, the suspensions are very smooth. Then if we want a sporty feeling, of course we can change the brain of the car with the steering box, the engine mapping, and the suspensions, all adaptable. And then for track use we can use race mode, but we won't be using that today in traffic. So
sure,
we can enjoy the ride in sport mode.
Are people in Modena used to seeing Paganis on the road? Is it still a lot of cell phone cameras and people taking pictures?
Well, Modena, the entire town, I think for more than 100 years is used to seeing the most beautiful sports cars in the world. Now I show you in sport mode. So you can see also all the aerodynamic features of the car.
Can you believe it? I have just been offered a drive in this Huayra BC. First drive ever of a Pagani in Modena, if you can believe that. Believe this, outside the Pagani factory. I can't believe it. This is some like of the craziest stuff. We're about to head out just outside the factory. The car is ready to go. It's warm. We hook first gear and check out the traffic, and yeah, we're off. It's even nicer to use the gear shifter than it is the pedals, because it's got this wonderful tactile feeling that's, I can feel the pneumatics, I can feel the spring. It's a lot to take in. So we're still in first gear, give it a bit of wheelie. Yeah, and the roads just get eaten up. I mean, this Panda was so far in the distance and then we just reeled him in. And you want to use the gearbox just to feel the action, but also to make the engine growl, because it sounds just Pagani made. You know, that's obviously intentional, but to make the car not sound like a Mercedes-Benz, you know, it's, no one would ever guess that's what's under the engine cover. So these are the roads that Pagani's test drivers use to validate and try their cars. And I'm told that the police here are as passionate about the cars as the company is, and I guess other petrolheads. So drivers get stopped, but it's typically only for photographs, because the cops want to see the cars. So we're not too concerned about that, but I mean, this car is wide. It's one of those, this is a typical Italian lane, as they call them. Oh boy. Oh man, that is fantastic. Now Sebastian probably has the best and the worst job in the world, dealing with journalists who all think they can drive. But he also gets to drive this car, which he's kindly handed the keys over to me. Jeepers. That's quick. Yeah, this is one of those days. The sounds and the sights can be captured, but I said we come to Italy and we learn that the Italians are just crazy passionate about cars. And you know, you come to a company like Pagani and make some of the most desirable cars in the world, and then they take you out for a drive, and then the next thing they hand you the keys and they say, here, let's go for a drive. Especially in these small roads, it feels even faster, because you know, everything is like so tight and close together. It almost doesn't matter what gear you're in, it's got so much torque, it just shunts along. You would have seen me driving the car on the roads around Pagani's factory here in Modena, and it's quite an overwhelming experience. One, of course, it's my first time behind the wheel of a Pagani, and yeah, very fortunate to have done that here today. But also, it's the car itself is just an occasion. It's one, it's massive, and placing it here on these narrow lanes is quite tricky when there's pandas and garbage trucks going the other way. But also, it is just so brutal. It's near violent, and I don't know if Pagani is going to mind me saying it. Feels almost like a rally car. It's crazy. It's huffing and it's chuffing and it's wastegate whooshing, and it's brutal on the upshifts, and it's popping and crackling on the downshifts. It really is a sense of occasion, and you know, I get totally the hype now. They're beautiful to look at, but behind the wheel the first time, man, oh man, this is such an occasion, such a treat, such a machine. It's, you know, there's detail here, there's level upon level of design and technology, and as they like to say, technology and art combined. And it's going to take me a while to process and to download the total experience of driving this car here today. I'm just, yeah, I'm very lucky. You know, it's a couple of cars that have lit me up like this. You know, an F40 and the MAT Stratos, and a couple of other things along the way. But wow, this is one of those days to remember as a petrol head and as a motoring journalist. It's not often you get to do these crazy things, and we're very lucky.